Hey everybody, welcome. Happy Sunday night. My name's Aaron Lehman. I'm part of the Living Well Now leadership team, and I'm really excited for tonight's interview with the one, the only Angie Hardison. Angie and I think the thing that's so cool about this business, Angie, is the people.
Oh, for sure.
I'm just like amazed at the people that we continue to meet. And anyway, I'm just grateful to know you. We're cross-line oily folks, and it's just a blessing to like be able to drop in and connect with you and to grow alongside you, over this last few years. And so anyway, first off, appreciate you being willing to come on tonight and share a little bit of your story. And those of you who are brand new to Living Well Now, or, if this is your first time hopping on and checking out a video, we are passionate health and business coaches that are really, at the end of the day, our goal is to help people find solutions to their wellness goals, and also to help people, if they choose, help people launch businesses with Young Living and share the incredible Young Living lifestyle with other people. So whether you're watching this on replay or catching this live, welcome. Excited to have you join us. If you have any specific questions as we're going, we're not going to be able to respond directly to them as we're streaming, but we'll definitely answer them after the fact. Also, feel free to connect with Angie, reach out to her, reach out to me. If you're connected to me, if somebody else invited you to like the Living Well Now page, connect with them. If you have more questions about the oils or questions about the business, just know that this is a community of like, let's help each other. I think is ultimately the goal. Let's all help each other grow stronger, grow healthier, grow happier, and grow businesses. So, all right, that being said, now we're going to focus in on Angie the rest of the way. And so, Angie, tell me a little bit about your wellness journey and how your Young Living journey began, where it all began, how it began. I'd love to hear that story.
Yeah, first of all, thank you so much for asking me to be here. I'm very honored, and always cool to chat with you. I always enjoy our chats, and always good to stay in touch, even though we're far away. So, so I started with Young Living about 6 years ago, and I really wasn't looking for anything. Like, my girlfriend Shauna was having a fundraiser. She actually, I don't even know that she had started specifically the fundraiser when I was talking to her about it, but we would take walks every Monday morning, and that was just something we did. And we met for a walk every Monday morning, and we'd walk and talk and walk and talk and walk and talk. And she had been trying to raise money for an adoption. Okay. And, you always want to help your friends that are doing something good in the world. And so I was helping her as much as I could. And, but she said, I think I'm going to do like this women's bazaar we had at our church. I was on the women's ministry committee, and she, wanted to do this bazaar. And so she said, I think I'm going to buy this kit. And if I can sell some kits, and I think I'm going to earn some money for my adoption. I was like, okay, cool. And I didn't know anything about oils. I knew a little bit about tea tree because I'm a former hairdresser. And so I knew a little bit about tea tree because I knew that was good for the scalp and for nails and things like that. And I knew a little bit about lavender being like relaxing and whatnot. But that was kind of the limit to my knowledge. Like, I was not naturally minded. Like, this was the furthest thing from my mind being like a crunchy mom or whatever they're called. Like, that was not me. And I was like, I was in the hair world where work's surrounded by chemicals 40 hours a week plus, and didn't even think twice about it. It's just part of life, And so anyway, so she invited me to this class, and it was at Marley Park, and I walked in, and there was tons of people there, and I was like, wow, this is really like legit. Like, there's a lot of people here. This is kind of cool. And I didn't actually get my kit that night. I kind of had to think about it a little bit. I was very interested, wanted to learn more, and I was a little like, I don't know, whatever. And I finally got my kit in January. I saved up all my Christmas tips because I did not have extra cash for that. So I saved up all my Christmas tips and paid cash for the kit in January. And within like 2 weeks, I had used like half of them, and I was like, I got to get more. Like, I was addicted, like immediately addicted to all of it. I made all the ridiculous first timer mistakes, So I really, really loved it. And even my husband liked it. And it was like, okay, there's something to this. Like, and like this one would work. And then I'd be like, oh, okay. And then another one would work. And I'd be like, I've got to stop doubting these things and finally start just realizing that they work. And because I was like, is it really going to do anything? I don't know. And I'll tell you, my turning point was I actually started going to classes because I was like, if I can do this a little bit, not knowing anything about anything, like I had been to one class, that was it, I thought, I wonder if there's more to this. And so at the time, we were doing some classes and I went to one and it was, I think it was some kind of a kids and oils class, and my kids were still, they were 10 and 12. Yeah. And so I went to this class and I just sat there in awe of the stories that were being shared and the ideas and the things. And I had always had problems with my sinuses, and somebody shared a recipe with me that might work. And I was like, okay, I'll try it. It sounds crazy, but I'll try it. They were putting oils in capsules. And I thought, who does this? Like, it sounds crazy. But I'm like, you don't just put it in the diffuser? And she's like, no, you have to put it in the capsule. You have to take it in the capsule. I'm like, okay. So I tried it and it was amazing, like life-changing. Like I went from not being able to smell the trees around my house to that spring I was riding my bike and I could smell the orange blossoms. And I was like, I knew there was orange blossoms around my neighborhood, but I had no idea that you could smell them because I had never been able to smell them before. So that, that was about the time that I remember standing in my bathroom and looking in the mirror and saying, why don't more people know about this stuff? And, you can call it Holy Spirit, inner guide, whatever you want to call it. But for me, it's Holy Spirit. And it said, because you're not telling them. And I went, oh, I better start doing that then. So I literally like planned a class the next month and another one and another one and another one and another one. And 6 years later, here we are. So yeah, that's kind of that was my big, like, whoa, okay, we got to start this.
Yeah. And was it an immediate, I want to do this business thing, or was it more of like, I just need to share this with as many people as possible? Was it kind of
it was for sure an immediate business thing for me. Like,
it was,
I mean, not immediate, but within that couple months of like, well, first of all, I knew within 2 weeks when we had gone through a lot of the oils, because we both loved them, and my kids were liking that. And I was like, okay. And here was my thought. My husband's going to kill me if I keep spending, all this money on oils. So I better find a way to cover it. Real life. Right. And, I'm like, he doesn't care what I do as long as I take, figure it out, so he's not like, don't buy them, but he'll, figure it out. So I did. And I was to go back a little bit in my history, my mom was divorced when I think I was 4 years old, and got remarried, but had always had a little side something. She did Avon when she was single, and then even all through my childhood, she did Mary Kay and like some other companies, and she never made like a big business out of it, but she always had a little side thing. And so I was kind of raised around that. Like, I'm not one of those people who ever thought MLM was like a weird thing, it was just normal to me. And for me, I'm an outgoing person who likes to hang out with friends. So I'm like, you get to support your friends and go to parties. Like, why is that bad?
Sign me up. Yeah, totally.
Sign me up. What do you want me to do? And then I had actually done another business in my early 20s for about 5 or 6 years till, kids and life kind of took over. And so it's always been in my blood. I think there's a famous network marketer named Susan Sly, and she says, it's not when you get into network marketing, it's when network marketing gets into you. And I don't think it ever got out of me. I just thought it did. So that was super powerful. Totally. I heard that statement. I was like, oh, that makes total sense for me. Because I really, So that's been, So business is kind of like just second nature for me. I was like, oh, well, we might as well do this. And so I started talking to Shauna, and we were like, okay, let's do this, and we started inviting friends, and here we are. Oh yeah.
So tell me initially there, how were you doing that? Because I know a lot of folks who would listen to this would be like, well, I've got this full-time gig and like, how am I going to fit that in? It's a nice idea, but I don't know how I'm going to fit that in my schedule right now. Or you figured out how to do that. How did you do that?
Yeah. So I had 2 kids and worked 50 to 60 hours a week behind the chair at a salon. So busy mama. And
Mm-hmm.
at the time, and that was actually one of my biggest whys when I got started, was to back off of some of my hours at work. I knew I was working too much. I was
Mm-hmm.
exhausted. I was, doing okay financially, but I was like just
Mm-hmm.
tired. My body was tired. My
Mm-hmm.
emotions were tired. I was just tired.
Mm-hmm.
And so honestly, I snuck it in. Like I just made it happen. I stopped
Mm-hmm.
watching so much TV. Like I
Mm-hmm.
started just taking a night or two and just doing classes on those nights. And then,
Mm-hmm.
on my lunch break, I'd text a couple people, and, I really just fitted into like the cracks and crevices of my day, honestly. Like,
Mm-hmm.
I'd have a little break in the day or waiting for a client, and I'd text somebody and invite them to a class, or, make a graphic and post it or whatever. So
Mm-hmm.
that was
Yeah. Yeah. Totally.
literally it. There was some there. We fondly call ourselves the Midnight Oilers for a while there. I have to say
Uh-huh.
I'm out of that club now. I sleep now.
That's so good. Yeah. Yeah.
But those first couple of years, it was late nights, because
Yeah.
really most of my friends, most of my demographic, most of the people I was, reaching and wanting to help with this product was, their mamas too. So they're getting their kids to
Mm-hmm.
bed. So they didn't even get on Facebook till 8 or 8:30 at night, So from
Yep.
8:30 to like 10 or 10:30, I was hustling. Those were the hours I
Mm-hmm.
could actually focus and like do stuff, So
Totally.
yeah. So I
Totally.
started with like once a week classes, and then, went from there. So
Yeah. And for you, it was like you knew you needed to pull it back a bit on at the salon,
yeah.
the work you were doing. It was just like, I'm tired physically, emotionally, like I've got to
Yeah.
find a way to make this thing work. The products you'd already been like right away, the products were like,
Oh yeah.
yes, please.
Hooked. Yeah,
Yeah.
for sure.
And then
Yeah.
and then also the community piece, you said the community piece
Mm.
was also like, wait, I'm going to host a gathering and hang out with people. Sounds
Yeah.
good to me.
Sounds cool. Yeah, actually, Andrea, your sister-in-law,
Mm-hmm.
sat me down, because and because she knew what she was doing, and I had no idea.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
And she was so strategic with me, and I really appreciated that, because I'm not a super strategy minded person, or I wasn't then. I am now,
Mm-hmm.
but I
Yep.
wasn't
Yep.
then.
Totally.
And she
Yeah.
literally sat me down and said, well, what's your, what would be your first goal? And I said, well, I want to stop working Thursday nights at the salon. That was my late night at the salon. I was working till 9 or 10 at night. And I was
Mm-hmm.
just tired, like that was a hard day to be on your feet. It was kind of a hard schedule. And that day
Mm-hmm.
specifically was real tough. And
Mm-hmm.
she said, oh, well, how much are you making per month on the just on that night? And so
Yeah.
I was like,
Yeah.
I don't know that I've ever really thought about that. And so I had to
Yeah.
figure it out. And so she like
Yeah.
literally broke down the numbers of like what it would look like to replace that income. And within, I
Mm-hmm.
think, 6 months, I did that. So that was pretty cool. Yeah.
Amazing.
Yeah.
Amazing. Just with focus and commitment to those,
Mm-hmm.
like you said, midnight oilers,
Intention.
like you found your windows, you snuck it in, made graphics during lunch
Yeah.
break or whatever you were, yeah. Yeah. And then
Yeah.
connecting, right? I mean, I think that's,
Oh, sure.
yeah. So cool. What's been, for those people who are like considering a network marketing launch, whether it's with Young Living or something else, like what are two like reasons you would invite somebody to say, to take another look, or to dive, to look a little deeper and say,
Mm.
and maybe say yes, like what would be like, what have been some of the, I would say, to answer or to re-ask that, would have been a couple of the biggest blessings
Oh, that's a different
for
question.
you
Yeah.
that's come from this journey of network marketing, that had you have not chosen to dive into this Young Living world and growing your business, that maybe those wouldn't be a part of your life today. Anyway, that's
Yeah.
kind of a long,
Yeah.
question thing, but
I think you're awesome. I love you. I think, number one, like, we both mentioned already, just the community, and especially, I mean, all of Young Living as a whole, and the heart behind Young Living is just huge. It's so different. And because I have seen a lot of network marketing stuff in the past and been a part of other things, like that meant a lot to me of really seeing the heart of Young Living, and then Living Well Now specifically, just the gratitude and the love and all of that we practice. And it's not just hype. It's not like we actually like we're just like, oh, we're living in gratitude. Like You really, really do. And it's not,
Mm-hmm.
and I love your mom for always pointing out, like, it's not just the layman's, it's
Mm-hmm.
everyone, like it's a
Totally.
whole. So
Mm-hmm.
that was really huge. And I'll tell you a story, if you don't mind, about
Mm-hmm.
Young
Yeah.
Living as a whole. My
Mm-hmm.
husband, I talked him into, it was my second year, went to convention in
Mm-hmm.
Utah, and I dragged him with me because he wanted to
Yeah.
see the farm. And I was like, okay, we'll come to the convention, you know?
Mm-hmm.
And he was a little standoffish, not quite sure what to think. And, you know, it is some rah rah shish boom bah, you know, of course, and
Yep. Yep.
all the grand entrances and all the things. And so he was a little, like, you know, standoffish, but he fell in love with two things. Number one, the foundation, the Young Living Foundation. If you've never taken a look at our Young Living Foundation, it's incredible. They do some incredible work around the world. I mean, just the heart of the company, and they put every dollar we give to them to good use. Like, it's not going to pay the bills, like it's going to
Mm-hmm.
actually people that need it. So that was
Mm-hmm.
huge for him. And then on the way out of convention that year, it was pretty pivotal for him as a husband. I know a lot of wives have husbands that don't quite get it or don't believe or whatever. And we were happened to be in the hallway, and I ran into a guy named Jake Dempsey, who happened to
Mm-hmm.
be a Crown Diamond with the company, and he wrote one of our apps. And so he had done a class. And so he was just standing there by himself. So I'm like, I'm going to go say hi. Like, so I
Mm-hmm.
did. And I tell you what, he stood there and talked to us for 45 minutes. And he's not my upline. He has no
Yeah.
financial connection to me. Like, he
Yeah.
doesn't know me
Yeah.
from Adam. He was
Yeah.
like literally coaching and breaking down my numbers and asking me my goals and like all of these things. And like, my husband was like so awed by the fact that in a network marketing company, you'll have people that aren't your upline and getting paid for what you're doing there to help you. And he was genuine and real and kind. And so it was just, it was a like eye opener for him to be like, this is legit. Like, this isn't just, you know, the things, you know, all the things you hear. It really is,
Mm-hmm.
it's truly a heartfelt community. So
Wow.
yeah.
I got chills as you shared that story. Like
Yeah, I haven't shared that one in
the
a while.
foundation. Yeah, that was legit. I'm like, woo, the foundation piece, right? I mean, that's such a, we'll make sure those of you who are watching this or catching this on replay, we'll make sure we put that in the comments. I'll also make
Yeah.
sure I'll put it on the YouTube description. So if you do check this out and want to explore that further and just find out what they're doing, because it is incredible.
Yeah.
So that's cool. Yeah. And then the other piece, the fact that really it, you know, this cross line, here's a guy that there's no, and he's showing up and pouring into you like you're you know, an enrollment of his own, you know, and it's like,
Yeah, it was really
what a
cool.
gift.
And
Yeah.
that's not the only time that's happened, but that was just the first one that, like I said, for my husband to be wowed by someone like that was like, oh,
Mm-hmm.
that's pretty
Mm-hmm.
cool, you know. And
Yeah.
it's happens over and over again with, you know, just, I'm not saying everybody in Young Living is perfect. I know there's some, you know, bad apples in every company, but
Totally.
you know, there's really more good than bad, I think, overall.
Totally.
So yeah.
Totally. So let's say, so you have some entrepreneurial background, right? You saw your mom doing the side hustle thing. You also, you know, growing your salon work. I mean, that's like, you're growing your clientele over time. So you have some background in that and are able to bring that to your business. For somebody who doesn't have that entrepreneurial mindset, training, you know, even just like that it's open an option, what would you offer for them? Like, are there a couple pieces, mindset pieces that have been huge for you, as far as, or whether it's, mindset, or suggestions you would make to them, like, hey, if you're going to do this thing, definitely here. Like, what would be a couple entrepreneurial, tips from you? Cause I honestly, like, I didn't know there's your mom thing. And then obviously I knew this
Yeah.
salon piece, you know. But
Yeah.
yeah.
You know, I think, you know, the personal growth and development is something that it's not really talked about in most businesses. I mean, there's some that do, but really diving into yourself and your belief is really, really helpful for a new person. I think, you know, they always talk about 3 areas of belief: belief in yourself, belief in the company, and then belief in network marketing as a profession. And so those three beliefs are really, really important to kind of hone into and just learn about and continue to just continue to learn. I don't think we can ever learn enough about, any of those areas, but especially yourself. I think we're always growing, right? And then, like I said, squeezing it in the day, like just finding little pockets of time to squeezing it in is so important. And as far as asking, for somebody who is not entrepreneurial at all to look at this and be like, what the heck? I would say one of my biggest eye-opening things, and I can't speak for everybody, and I am not a accountant or tax professional, but the tax benefits are incredible. Like, I already kind of had that because I did have another business, but I've seen a lot of my friends, they're like, wait, what? You get to write off what? Like, how does that work? And, and of course, like I said, I don't want to give anybody tax advice because that is not my thing, but that's a huge thing to look at if you're considering a network marketing business. Is there's a lot of tax perks to having a home-based business, whether it's this or, anything else of, if that's something you want to move yourself forward and to, financially free yourself, it's really, really important. And then I think the last tip I would give on that area is use your products. Really, fall in love with the products because they really do work and they really do make a difference. And the more you do that, the more that belief will just come easily for you.
That's amazing. Yeah. Awesome. Beautifully said. So yeah, so huge, all of those pieces. So to close, what's currently motivating you and driving you? I know you started with like the Holy Spirit was like, hey, you got to share these things, and I'm sure that's still rocking. I'm sure the Holy Spirit's still working you daily to share, right? But what's the why or a couple of whys that are really kind of motivating you now to continue your journey and business growth?
Yeah. I've got teenagers, so college, of course, is, a big motivating factor, or whatever, if they don't do college, whatever they choose to do, help them out and get them sent off to life successfully. And so that's a huge motivator. Also, my husband and I want to travel as we get older. We might have to call you and Sarah to get some tips.
Totally. Yeah. We'll do some adventures together, I think.
Yeah. We have done a couple things together. That's fun. So we want to do some more traveling for sure. That's something that we're definitely on the radar. And then, but my biggest why is helping other women who have a little bit of an entrepreneurial spirit, or like a question about, really wanting to grow themselves and have a side hustle of some sort. Like I said, even if it's not this, if it's something else, I love talking to people that have a spark of, I want to do this or I want to do that. And I want, they have that little piece of them that wants something besides sitting in a cubicle all day. Or, maybe it's a stay-home mom that just doesn't want to do laundry all the time. Like, who wants more to life than that. I love talking to people about that. So that's my biggest motivating factor, is helping them launch into their next business, and like I said, I love it when it's this one. And if it's not, then I love it when it's other things. Cause that's, it's freedom. And at the end of the day, that's what we're all here for, is to get that freedom,
Oh, I love talking to you. It's so good to hear your story. Yeah. To get that the full glimpse of what your journey's been about. And, I think in my opinion, the thing that you bring daily is just that joy and that energy of like presence. I think that's, for me, it's like, your business is going to keep growing. And, I pray that people that watch this dive in with you and grow businesses with you, because they are in good hands, and you're such a great guide. And so I'm excited to see how this will bless your community and hopefully bless those of you who watch this. Just really grateful to you, Angie, for taking the time tonight and making it happen. And those of you who watch this either live or on replay, big gratitude to you. I think I'll close with this. Whether you have a health goal or whether you have a entrepreneurial, maybe I would like to create a business goal, you got it.
Yeah.
You got it. We're cheering you on. Angie's cheering you on. I'm cheering you on. Like it's time. It's time. It's time for all of us to level up in all the zones, because the next generation needs to see us, needs to see Angie doing the leveling up, needs to see me making good shifts and positive shifts, right? And the more we're all doing that, it's going to make the next generations like see health in a new, you know, with a new light and a new responsibility, and also see wealth creation and see this entrepreneurial idea. It's not going to be like a foreign concept. It's going to be like a, oh yeah, I own a business. Yeah, I launched a business. Oh yeah, I'm doing this. This is what I'm creating right now. Oh, I'm growing a business with Young Living. So
love it.
Anyway, big love. Thank you, Angie. Appreciate you. Wishing you all a beautiful night, and have a great one. Talk to you soon. That was good.